share his inspirational story. So I want to tell him good morning first. Good morning, Detrich. How are you doing?
Morning, Jessica. I'm good. Yourself?
I'm good. This is Detrich Swain, y'all, and he is an artist. He is um, a conscious artist, which I will ask him to explain briefly in just a little bit. But he's going to share his story on where he came from and where he's at today. So thank you so much for coming onto the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
You're welcome, you're welcome. And y'all, he's known as D-Dub, and you can find his music on SoundCloud. I did listen to one of his songs this morning and last night. I actually listened to it more than once. And I really do like it. He has a lot of meaning in his music. And it's what we need more of. You know, we don't have enough of that. So, Detrich, I want to ask you, please explain, because well, first off, I had Jeremy Hagan here with me. I don't know if y'all remember. You have to remember, last week I had Jeremy Hagan here, and he shared his experience on overcoming depression. So they met along the line. We'll get into that a little bit later. But they met, and they actually produce and write music together. So I felt like that was really cool, and we definitely, had to bring Detrich on to give his experience. I want to ask you, what does conscious music mean? Because when I asked Jeremy, what does that mean? He explained it, but I want you to give your definition of conscious music.
Well, I would say conscious music is sort of like what a lot of the people say now, being woke. It's like understanding your environment, knowing what's going on around you, understanding what happens in life, and just not being a fool to things that go on in the everyday world. Just being conscious, self-conscious, and of yourself, and just making sure that you understand what's going on in life, and not to be blindsided or by something crazy out here. That doesn't mean you any good or whatever.
Okay. Have you always written this type of music?
I would say so, but I think as I got older and grew, I became more conscious because, I started writing at a young age. So as a child, you write things as a child will write. But as I grew and got older, my music became more conscious because ever since a kid, I've always been kind of like different or aware about what's going on, or had a deeper feeling or spirituality about things.
Okay, so you definitely have always been wise then. You've always had wisdom for sure, because not a lot of kids know anything about, being in tune with yourself and, stuff like that. So when you started writing music, what inspired you to start writing music?
What inspired me to start writing music was just my love of music. When as a kid, my father, he used to make, I just remember him sitting at the keyboard making cassette tapes and making music. My mom loved music, so I've always been around it. I've always had a love for it. I just feel like music is a great way to express yourself, and you can reach a lot of people through music. Music is the one thing that I think connects a lot of people, no matter where you at in this world. So that's an avenue. That's an avenue I chose to go into because it came easier for me than anything else. So
that is true. That is true. So in your music, is it always something that do you write things that you've been through or things that you've seen? Is it always like heartfelt? Because there was a portion of the song, actually the whole song I really enjoyed, but in the song By Myself, you mentioned having authority. Do you feel as if you have always had authority over your life?
Well, first of all, I was going to say God has authority over my life first and foremost. But after that, I would say to a degree, I've always had no control over my life. But sometimes I think with anybody, you also fall into, I say, this lane where you have to try to be something for everybody. And you want to be something to make everybody else happy. And sometimes in that process, you forget who you are and forget about being yourself, and not being happy your own self, trying to please everyone else. So I think kind of authority to your life is kind of like just taking over your own life and make sure you're happy before you can help others.
Yes. I say that all the time. I had to learn that, you have to have yourself together before you can help anyone else. So how can anyone else even be in that realm of helping if you don't have yourself together? I totally agree with that. What does that mean for you? Like, how did you take control? For anyone that may be listening that may not know how to take control over their life, over their situation, what would you suggest that they do?
I just think, First of all, I was gonna say, man, keep God first, foremost in your life, and always pray. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to accomplish and do in life, keep Him first. But also, with that said, you have to come to a point in life where you just realize, look, I just can't help everybody. I can't please everybody. So I gotta do things to make myself happy. Whatever. You gotta just forget the naysayers and the negativity some people can bring to you, and just do yourself and be yourself. So I look at things, God give all of us only one life to live. And you have the right to live your life however you want to live it. And no one wants to spend their life trying to live for others. And when it comes time for you, your judgment day, or when you die, you realize, man, I didn't even live my life. I was trying to help everybody else. Life is fragile. It's not that long, so you want to enjoy it while it's here.
That is so true. Going back a little bit, how did you and Jeremy meet?
I met Jeremy at a job we were both working on together. That's how we met. And didn't realize, but we had known each other for a while at work and didn't realize the level of music we both had for it. It wasn't until general conversation one day I realized that he does music. He realized that I like music. We always wanted to come together and do it, but things kept coming up in his life or in my life and never worked out. And finally, I'll just say God worked it out well. We finally came together. Ever since then, it's like things been blossoming. So I felt like it was meant to happen.
Right. You were placed in the right place at the right time. Do you believe that people cross paths for a reason?
Definitely. I believe in the old saying where they say people come into your life for a reason, not a season. So I agree with that. Yeah. I think everyone that you encounter in life affects your life in some format. Some people are here to stay forever. Some people be gone in a minute. But each person you came in encounter with affected you somehow, whether you realize it or not.
That is so true. We all have a purpose. When we cross each other's paths, you never know how you're helping someone. It could be just something as simple as a compliment or something. Y'all started a conversation. Y'all worked with each other and boom, look at where you're at now. It's crazy how that happens. So with everything that you have worked for, what would you say was your toughest obstacle to overcome to where you're at, to get to where you're at now?
Well, you know what? I can't actually pinpoint like one actual thing, but I'll just say just everyday life because I said this story for let people know it can happen, but I'm married. I have 4 kids. I'm 39 years old. I went to school and got my bachelor's degree, and I just finished this past October, graduating and got my master's degree in business administration. So and I did all this while being a husband and being a father, and working every day. I wore so many hats. So, but not to say that to brag, but let people know it can happen. You can do it. Just keep God first, and keep faith, and work towards your goals. Whatever, it can happen.
So I want you to go a little bit deeper for me. During the time of getting your degree, being a father and a husband, what would you say for anyone that may be trying to pursue the same thing? And you're doing music, so that's another hat that you wear. You're an artist too. Yep. So you do wear many different hats. What would you say was one of the things, like, did you have a moment of when you felt like you just couldn't keep going?
I wouldn't say I had a moment where I felt I couldn't keep going, but I had some tough moments in there where sometimes you wanna question yourself, or sometimes you ask yourself, man, is what I'm doing worth it? But also realize those thoughts are a natural process. You just gotta keep going. You gotta keep going, because if you stop, then nothing get accomplished.
That is very true.
I think one of the things that also inspired me, like, to go to school was my kids. I wanted to be able to show my children that you can go to school and finish and get a degree and basically inspire them. So when time for them to go to school, they won't have an excuse. They can look like, well, Dad did it. I saw Dad do it, so I can do it. And Dad did it with all those things on his plate. I don't have nearly the things that he had on his plate on my plate, so it should be easier for me to do it. I just want to be an inspiration. That was the main thing.
That's what I'm talking about. We need more of that in this world today, period.
Yeah.
For any fathers that may be listening, what advice would you have for them for if they're going through a moment of, if they want to inspire their kids? What type of advice would you have for them?
Well, it'll be just what you said. I tell them to be inspirational. pretty much you can talk to your kids all day long, but sometimes you need to show them by action. Because anybody can talk to them, but sometimes people need to see it. Let your kids see you out here doing the things that you fuss at them about or talk to them about. Let them see you doing it, so they can't come back to you later and say, well, dad or mom, you didn't do this, or I didn't see you do that. Show them through action.
Right.
Because your kids, you're the first people. They're gonna learn to love. You're gonna be the first major influences on their life. So you want to make sure you start that out on a positive note.
That is true. Because kids, what they see at younger ages is what that's what they learn. That's what they grow to. That's what they know. So whatever they see, if they see you being positive, then they'll know that, okay, like you said, if dad did it, I can do it too.
Exactly.
And then keep spreading the love to anyone else that may need it.
Also when go back like to the education part, I think that's important, especially for like a young black men and women out here. Education is very important. No matter what them naysayers tell you, education is very important. Whether you're getting it through school or you're getting it through simply just reading books and getting your knowledge up, but just be aware and be awoke with what's going on in life. It's important.
That's very important. And I didn't start that till later on, so I appreciate you sharing that, because anyone that may be listening this morning may have needed to hear that, it's basically, it's not too late, but, we need to do what we need to do to get to where we want to be.
Exactly. Well, what you're saying, that's one thing I think people need to learn to like kind of get out of their head. It's never too late to do anything.
Right.
If your mind can think it, you can do it.
Right.
So it's never too late. Like with me, I'm 39 years old and recording music. There's not an age limit on this thing. If you can touch souls, you can touch souls. Whether you're 39, 29, or you're 19, touching souls is touching souls. If you can save somebody or reach somebody, it don't matter what the age is.
Exactly. Man, you hit it right on the money. I'm telling you, I always talk about the KFC guy. He started KFC in his 60s.
Exactly.
Like, who would have thought? All this time, he had the chicken recipe and nobody, believed in his dream. So I do have a question for you as far as dreaming. Have you always had a dream for music, and was there anyone that told you, that you couldn't do it, or you couldn't get your degree, or it wasn't possible? But obviously you did it. You're here now, so obviously you did it.
Well, I've always had a love for music and a dream for it. It was a time in a couple years in my past where I got kind of frustrated with music, with the music that was coming out. I felt like it wasn't genuine music. It wasn't helping people. It was more destructive than it was, I'll say rehabilitating to people, or whatever. And I kind of got frustrated with music, and I got out of it for a little bit. I still loved it, but I wasn't, as in tune with it as I once was. But that's when Jeremy came in. Like I said, when I met him, he was so headstrong into the music and stuff, and it kind of like got my love for it back up to where it once was at one time. So I credit him with that. Matter of fact, Jeremy's the first one to put me in the recording studio.
Really?
Yep. I've always written music and I always loved it, but I never really recorded in a real studio. I'll say till this past March.
Really?
Yep. And Jeremy was the reason for that. I think that brother for that.
I know. That is what's up. How did that make you feel?
It felt good. It felt good because I never had anyone to actually take me and be like, man, come go with me, or come meet me down here and let's go to the studio.
Yeah.
So, for that, I'm always going to be indebted to him and love him for that.
Right.
He did that for me.
Right. Because some people say, I believe in you. But like you said, that action.
Yeah.
He came in and showed you, like, hey, I believe in you. So let's go to the studio.
He could have been a selfish person and be like, no, I ain't about to help nobody. I'm just do this by myself. But he never been that way.
Right.
So I love him for that.
That's what's up. See, y'all, we need more people like that in this world. So help your brother and your sister out. It's okay. Don't tear each other down, for sure. So I normally have a special guest to share a positive word, a quote, and a scripture if you have one. But what is a positive word that you go by or that is meaningful to you?
Well, a positive word that I go by, it's kind of cliche, but it's so real and it's simple in a way. But I would just say, like I said earlier, keep God first and keep the faith. Faith is very important in life. It's being able to see something and believe something without actually knowing it exists or seeing it's there. It's kind of like Martin Luther King said, you take the next step on the staircase, not even knowing if the next step is going to be there or not. That's how I feel. And I speak on faith because I'm speaking on experience. It's not what I heard. It's not what somebody told me. It's what I experienced in my life. I've been there through those times where you don't know how you're going to get your next meal, or how the kids going to eat, or how we going to pay this bill, and just out of nowhere, it happens. And there's nothing but God there. Man can't do that for you.
Right. That's true. I have some stories myself, so I know that for sure. So would you say that your like word would be faith? Like faith would be, so as far as like a actual just one word, if you could give one word on the show today, would it be faith?
I would say yes.
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 Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, because honestly, faith covers all. Like,
yep.
I mean, it covers so many areas and arenas in our lives.
So if you don't have faith, I mean, you don't have anything. I mean, because everybody's gonna get to a point in life sometime where there's nothing you can do but have faith. There's no one else left to call on but God. There's no one else left to help you in your situation. So you just gotta have faith. Pray and sit back and let God work.
So what do you have coming up in the near future? Are you working on anything currently?
Well, we're currently recording. I'm constantly recording music. I actually got like 3 or 4 songs now that I've recorded that I haven't put out yet because I'm going to be working on a mixtape here real soon. So
okay.
That's my next probably project I'm looking to try to get
okay
done.
Well, let me know so I can let everybody know for sure. So briefly, for everyone listening, if you listened to me on yesterday, Christmas Day, I was telling about how I was in Kroger and the line was long. Fast forwarding, I was looking in the book of the Michelle Obama journal book that she wrote for Becoming. And in the book, she mentioned that writing is important. Writing is a way to grow, to remember. Sometimes remember the things that we don't want to remember. Sometimes, we're remembering things that, we may have forgotten about. But writing is like a gateway to those things.
Definitely.
Do you believe that as well?
I definitely believe that. I love writing. I've been writing since I was a kid. Words are very impactful and very important. Words touch people all over the globe, and writing is a way to do that. Which leads me to, I also want to say that's one of the reasons why I also make music. If I never become a big time artist or blow up on a national scale, I'm fine with that. Because also when I write music, not just because of that, but also it's kind of like to leave some words back for my kids. It's like an open diary for me. If I should die tomorrow, all my kids will be able to say, that was my dad. He left his voice here. He left his words here. These were his thoughts. These were his beliefs. I'm proud of him for that. So it's kind of like my open diary to the world or whatever. Sometimes you can say things in music that you may not can't say in conversation, but you can write it, and come across the way you want it to come across. So yes,
right.
Words definitely are important.
Putting those thoughts to paper,
yep.
it makes it definitely come to life.
Yep.
Well, I do thank you so much. Y'all, we got about 5 minutes left, so I'm going to end it there. But I would like for you to share any social media that anyone can follow you on or anything like that.
Yeah, definitely. You can find me on Instagram on the BCM_D-Dub. You can find my music on SoundCloud under Detrich Swain. I also have a couple songs on Apple Music and all the major streaming services. And you can find me on Facebook also under my name, Detrich Swain, as well. So, please follow me. Check out what we got going on in the future. Check out my music. I promise you won't be disappointed.
Oh, yeah. Y'all won't be disappointed. I'll probably play this song on the way back to the house because by myself, that's the song that I listen to, y'all. So, you can find that on SoundCloud for sure. But that song has meaning because everything that's said in the song, it's true story. So, you can't help but to respect it. So I do appreciate you coming on to the show, Detrich. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me up here. I'm very grateful for this platform, this opportunity to speak, and tell my side, and I thank you for that.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. And y'all, we're going to move back over to some jazz, and then I'll see if I have time for a positive affirmation of the day, just to, continue the positive vibes that we have going this morning. So I play a little bit of Christmas jazz. I know I had someone to request some Christmas jazz. Eric, I know that you're listening. I have some Brian McKnight coming for you right after the jazz, so just stay tuned. All right. Be back after this.